mermaid history, mermaid lore, and of course, helping you make your very own OC. Way back in the beginning, the ocean was just one massive body of water. A ruler, Poseidon, watched over all the merfolk living under the ocean. However, in a great battle of the gods, Poseidon was murdered by Ares, the god of war. This left the ocean in complete chaos with no ruler. However, Regum stepped forward and proposed a new way of living. Regum said they should separate the oceans into 4 different parts: the Atlantic, the Pacific, the Arctic, and the Indian Ocean. This system worked out great, and each part chose their own ruler to lead them. The ocean was finally happy and full of harmony. Well, at least for the next 100 years. The Pacific Ocean was home to not just mermaids, but also to sirens, like myself. Sirens were a darker form of mermaid, who would lure sailors in with a sweet song and then kill them and feed off their flesh. Sirens preferred warmer weather, so you could only find them in the South Pacific, from the Great Barrier Reef to the coast of South America. Sirens never interacted with mermaids much, but when they did, it was just a peaceful interaction. However, groups of sirens started ransacking villages and stealing whatever they could find. These groups of sirens became known as sea pirates, and they were wanted all over the Pacific, which started the Great Pacific War. The Great Pacific War stretched on for years and years, almost 50 years. Many people died. It was the bloodiest war in mermaid history. But luckily, the war ended when the North finally surrendered to the Sirens, and the Sirens were able to work out a peaceful deal with the North. They said the North Pacific would be ruled by one leader, a mermaid, and the Southern Pacific would be ruled by another leader, a siren. There are 2 types of mermaids. There are natural-born mermaids, and there are human mermaids. Natural-born mermaids are born from mermaid parents. They can breathe underwater, have a tail all the time, and can even use magic. Ooh, how exciting. Human mermaids are mermaids born from human parents, but also have a set of mermaid parents. Human mermaids can't breathe underwater, but they can use magic, and when they get wet, they will form their tail. But when they are dry, they have legs. Now, like I said, human mermaids are born from human parents. When a human baby is born, mermaid parents can adopt that baby if they want. If you're a lucky human chosen to be a mermaid, a family down from the ocean can choose to become your parents. Sometimes mer families will adopt 2 or more human babies, but it doesn't happen as often because demand for a human baby is very high. If you're born to human parents and are adopted by mermaid parents, once a mer child reaches a certain age, a mystical force will call them towards the ocean, and they'll be able to swim to the bottom and meet their mer family. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, how to make your very own mermaid OC. This is super fun, and I love making OCs. But it takes a lot of work. Are you ready? Then let's go. The first thing you need to do is very simple. You need to choose if you're a mermaid or a siren. Sirens, like myself, are a lot cooler. They are a little more rude or edgy, kind of like the alternative kids at a high school. You know the ones that skateboard and dye their hair black and wear nose rings. They're kind of like sirens. Sirens can also be seductive, and some sirens are just really good singers. Sirens are a lot less hippy-dippy than mermaids too. No offense.
None taken.
Also, sirens have amazing voices. Not that mermaids can't, but let's be honest, we're way better. Oh, mermaids, right, I have to talk about them too. Mermaids are much more caring and compassionate. Some mermaids have the ability to talk to animals. When designing your mermaid, it's very important to keep in mind if you are a mermaid or a siren. Sirens have bolder colors, such as hot, neon colors, red like my tail, black, or white even. Sirens also accessorize with skulls instead of shell. Mermaids, on the other hand, have softer colors like pastels or pinks and blues, lots of blues and greens. And of course they can also have white tails, but their white won't be as pure of a white. It will be more of a very, very, very light shade of blue or green. Mermaids accessorize with shells and seaweed, all natural things. Now it's time to think of a name and where you live. I like to think of where I live first. You have 5 oceans to choose from: the Atlantic Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, the North Pacific Ocean, South Pacific Ocean, or the Indian Ocean. You can do research on these oceans to help you pick one. Also, you can choose an ocean that means something to you. For example, my friend, she chose the North Pacific Ocean because she was born in Hawaii. Now that you've chosen your ocean, it's time to think of a name. You can choose a name from the native area from where you live. For instance, my mermaid name, Selena, is a common name in most Spanish-speaking countries. Since my mermaid lives off the coast of Chile, it would make sense, right? However, you can also choose a cool name that is in a different language and means something and sounds pretty. You can also choose just a cool sounding name like Alexis, or something beautiful and graceful like Susanna. Whatever you choose, just make sure you like it, because no matter what, it's really your OC and no one else should have a say in it. Now finally, to choose your backstory. This I can't give you much help with because each person's backstory is unique. All I can do is give you a few tips, like don't make it too sad or too perfect. No one wants a Mary suit, and no one wants an overly depressing story. That's boring. Make sure to make your story feel natural. You can even base it off of your own life if you want, or make it exactly like your own life. Whatever you choose, just make sure you give your character wins and losses. You want them to win, and of course they can, but it's also interesting to see them lose for once. Well, I think you're ready to go make an OC, and I hope you learned a lot about mermaid history, and you can incorporate it into your mermaid OC too. Well, that's all for now. We'll see you next video, and remember, keep swimming, sea sisters! Mwah!
Dive into